Hi Chris, it's me, that vegan teacher. I'm here on my front porch in Montreal, Canada. I know you're also a Canadian, and if you were here or close by, I would love to welcome you here and talk to you directly. In fact, before I forget, I want to suggest to you that you do try to contact me. My name on Instagram is thatveganteacher Miss KADIE, and it's actually very hard to get hold of me. I'm sure you probably have the same problem because people have probably shared your email and your address and your phone number, and you just can't even survive anymore. Once you become popular, which I am popular and so are you, it becomes very difficult for us to get in touch with each other. And I don't know how it works. Maybe you do. I don't know. I guess we're supposed to get some sort of I don't know, a publicist or something to help us link to each other. I have no idea how it works, Chris. But I would like to talk to you personally. If that's something that you would like to do. If you actually care about the animals, then I encourage you to talk to me. And we'll have a phone call, a face-to-face, or whatever. You're welcome to come here, by the way. You can stay here at my house for free. It's not a big deal, as long as you are helping me to save animals. That's what's important. So Chris, you made a lot of comments in the video that I posted about you, and one of the things that you said is you said, Miss KADIE is not using a vegan marker. And you were right. And the reason that I was using that marker is because, well, a number of reasons. First of all, I already explained this in another video, that I was the kind of teacher who would go around and follow the janitor at the end of the day as he was sweeping everything up. And what he did is he had all these piles of markers and rulers and pencils and pens and erasers, and he was just going to throw them all in the garbage. So what I did, since I worked in the school system for 9 years before starting to work here on social media, is I would go after him and I would say, hey, do you mind if I pick these up? Because I see you're just throwing them in the garbage. So you would think that he would bend down and look at the name of who it is and return them back to the classes. But he's like, no. Kids today, they throw it on the ground. It's going in the garbage. I have too much work to do here. So I would go around and pick stuff up a bit, and if I saw the name specifically of a kid that I knew in the school, because I taught to all the kids in the school, because I was the English teacher in the French school system, I would go and give it back to whoever, So one of the times I found a marker like this, and it had the kid's name, and I would give it back to them. Sometimes they were chewed, and sometimes I had no idea who they belonged to, but if they worked, I would keep them. I actually have an absolute stack of things that kids threw out. Now, in school, or threw out, that they dropped and just never bothered to look for. And in school, if the kid in my class didn't have an eraser or a pencil, whatever, I had always extra ones that I would give out. Anyway, Chris is right that this kind of marker is not necessarily vegan, and it's very hard to find vegan markers, as we found later. I tried to look for some. I did find a brand, though, and I'll post it in the link below. And I've ordered a vegan marker. So I want to thank Chris, actually, for that. Thank you for pointing that out. And, we all do things that are not vegan. We're not even aware of them. I've been vegan for 5 years. But here's the question for me, that I have for you, Chris. So if you are really determined to point out the type of ink that a teacher is using in order to grade a student, what are you suggesting exactly? That nobody should paint their shirts at all in case the paint is vegan, and no items should be painted anywhere, like this fabric here, I don't know if that's a vegan fabric. I don't know. Most of stuffed animals are not made from wool or fur or these type of things, but maybe the color is. We don't know. What we need, though, is we need people to help us work towards a vegan world, and that's what I'd like your help with. That's why I'm asking you to contact me. So I'm going to go through some of the notes that you gave, and before I do, though, I want to emphasize this message for you, Chris, because you talk about eating animals. So I want you to just keep this in mind, you and the viewers. Okay, why love one but eat the other? So you have a dog here, a black and white dog, and a black and white, this is a baby boy cow. And baby boy cows are murdered. They have their throats slit when they are newborns. They are turned into veal, or their skin is ripped off of them. They are turned into leather bags, leather shoes, and leather seats sometimes. The softer the leather, the younger the baby. So my concern about this, Chris, is when I found out about this, I just realized it seems very wrong. And to most normal humans, this type of thing does seem wrong. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to join me in the battle to try to make this place a better world. Like, you're either on the side of the problem or the side of the solution. So what are you deciding? Now, I had a few hints in your comments that maybe you could possibly be a good person and that maybe you could help. But I'll be honest with you. When I was on TikTok, I had a similar guy just randomly attacked me for being vegan, and his name was John Robert Bell, otherwise known as Joe Roby. And I worked with him for a long time. I was very patient. I explained and explained. He was 24 years old, around your age. I think you're 25 now, probably the same as him. And, you know, I put a lot of effort into trying to convince this guy that he should be vegan, because he was talking about morals all the time and how to be kind to other people. And unfortunately, that didn't work, and he ended up getting accused of some kind of sexual misconduct. I think he came on to somebody who was under the age, like was 18 or almost 18 or something like that. Anyway, I don't know the details to it. I just know that it was really disappointing, and it kind of made me feel like, okay, there's a lot of really not nice people out there. So I don't know where you stand with all of this, Chris. I have a little hope, but I also have a lot of non-hope, to be honest with you, because I've looked at different things that you've said, and I think that you had an opportunity to be kind and to turn it around, and you haven't yet done that. But I'm not going to give up complete hope with you, because who knows. All right, so I watched a bunch of your videos, Chris, and one of the things that, well, not a bunch, but I watched a few. One of the things that just popped up on my feed was the time that you were crying, and it was about a 20-minute video, and you were talking about your past and how you were sexually assaulted and how you had an eating disorder when you were younger. Now, I think, unfortunately, it sounds terrible to say this, but most of us have been sexually assaulted, and many of us, when we were younger, had eating disorders. I myself did all kinds of crazy stuff. One time I was overeating a lot and found myself starting to make myself throw up, and I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. I don't want to be bulimic. And you know, I've had all kinds of crazy ups and downs with the food, and had weird diets and everything else. Now the only thing I do is I eat healthy foods all the time. I don't eat junk, like extremely rarely. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and that's the best thing, honestly. Just eat whole foods 3 times a day. Don't eat any animal products. Only put veggies, fruits, nuts, and seeds in your shopping cart, because peace begins on your plate. So we all have to open up our hearts. So Chris, I'm going to go through some of the points on here, and I'm going to think about what you said regarding the fact that you were sexually assaulted. Because as you may or may not know, that is exactly what happens in the industry. They sexually assault. They sexually assault the cows. The fathers are raped. They're masturbated. That's sexual assault. Then they insert it into the female. That's also sexual assault, Chris. If you are against sexual assault, then you should be with me here on this fight to end this animal holocaust, because it's not right what we do to the animals. And then we take away their baby boys, which is what happens here. Baby boy cows are murdered, and they are no different than dogs. And I know you have a dog, and I know your dog's name is Kevin. So if you wouldn't want something to happen to your dog, then please tell your audience that it is wrong to hurt dogs, and it is also equally wrong to hurt baby boy cows like this. Everyone should be vegan. We should be promoting non-violence. Now the same thing happens in this industry with the pigs. Why love one but eat the other? With the pigs, it's the same thing, Chris. They are sexually assaulted. They literally assault. They touch inappropriately the males, collect their sperm, shove it into the females. All of this is completely barbaric. It's like bestiality. It is sexual assault. It is abusive, and it is wrong. We should never be touching animals inappropriately. Now, if you didn't like it when somebody touched you inappropriately, and it made me really upset, and it's happened to me too, then it is our responsibility, especially as females, to stand up against this terrible abuse. But you know what? I take that back. It's not even especially as females. Because our boyfriends and husbands also, who don't want to see us suffer and have permanent damage from these things, have also a responsibility to tell these others, these molesters, to, you know, fuck off, to make sure that they try their best to put men in their place. So now we have a society that rapes, tortures, murders, abuses these innocent animals for no reason, puts them in Holocaust-like conditions, and we have a responsibility to say, no, we do not agree with any of this. Now, I noticed also, Chris, that you said that you like chicken wings. And you said, oh, chicken wings in one of your videos. Somebody said, oh, do you like nuggets? Oh, I love nuggets, you said. Well, here's the thing. Here's a nugget, okay? In this industry, Chris, where you are saying you love nuggets, you're basically saying you love the fact that they take these baby chicks, baby boy chicks on the first day of their birth, when they are so cute, they put them in blenders, grind them up, and murder them, slicing them into a million pieces because they will never be able to lay eggs. That is the egg industry. You know it's wrong, right? You know it's wrong. So I need you to tell everybody that even though you like the way that they taste, you even went so far as to mention the word that McDonald's, and you know it's so wrong, because then what you're doing, Chris, if you're saying, oh, I love this type of thing, you're basically encouraging your audience to go there. It's like you're doing a free commercial for them. Chris, you gotta stop. It's not okay. You are going to be a multi-millionaire. It won't be long. Maybe you already are, but it won't be long. I know you just bought your first house, right? And so it won't be long before you have even more followers and your responsibility, and I am asking you to join me to be an animal defender as you go forward. Now, I know that you also said that you had an eating disorder at one point, but you know, an eating disorder is not an excuse for animal abuse, because your eating disorder, and so is mine, and everyone else's, is not an eating disorder. It's actually a thinking disorder. You're not thinking right. It's not about the food. It's about your thoughts about the food. And you can come out of an eating disorder. You can get better and be healthy without ever including animals in the equation. It's not the animal's fault if somebody has an eating disorder. Why should they be murdered because you or anyone else has an eating disorder? They shouldn't. Animals are here with us on the planet, not for us. These little guys, they never did anything wrong. They were just born. Little babies born, and they can't even turn around and see their mums when they're born. It's really sad. I urge you to watch the documentary called don'twatch.org. I don't think you bothered to watch it, did you, Chris? Anyway, I hope that you do. Let's put this little one here. Right? All right, Chris. So let's go over a little bit about what you said. You started off your video, and you started off right away with a disclaimer you wrote on the front of the screen, and you said, you can eat whatever you want. Now, why the fuck would you do that? Why would you go ahead and tell everyone in your audience, knowing about this, that they murder these baby cows, and about this, that they murder the baby chicks, and about this, that they murder the baby pigs? Why on earth would you go and tell your audience, eat whatever you want? Essentially what you're doing is you're saying, go ahead. These cycles, let them continue. Rape whoever you want. After you were crying in a video, Chris, about what you went through, how is it that that is what comes out of your mouth? Instead of, oh my God, I didn't like it what they did to me whatsoever. I don't know the circumstances about what happened to you. You said that you were sexually assaulted. And so whatever happened to you, Chris, if you didn't like it, don't pay for others to do it. Don't condone it. And definitely don't start a video off by saying, people, you can eat whatever you want. Because, you know, I just want to stay popular and happy, and I just want everybody to keep loving me. So, yeah, go ahead. That was so disappointing. Now, Chris, I also know that you're suffering from cognitive dissonance. That's when your head and your heart are all mixed up. You think you're a good person, you want to be a good person, but you're all mixed up because you get so much feedback from people who say, I love your videos where you're talking about the different snacks that we can eat. So you have all of this positive feedback from people. It's very hard to see clearly what the message is that I'm giving you. And you probably already heard about me in the past, where you've heard, oh, that vegan teacher's crazy. So then you have confirmation bias. That's what that's called. It's a psychological term that means that you hear something from somebody and then you think, okay, oh yeah, this person's crazy, so let's go and see how crazy she is. As opposed to, I heard that she was crazy. Let's have a look and see if I agree. So let's go over some of these. Chris wrote, you can eat whatever you want. So we went over that. So I don't agree that that was the right thing to do. And you said, when I asked you about that, why love one and eat the other, you said, well, because one tastes like chicken nuggets and those are delicious. Okay. So what you're saying is that somebody's taste pleasure, somebody's sensory pleasure is worth more than the victim's. So Chris, are you also saying that if somebody likes hearing the screams of animals as they are being murdered, that's a reason to hurt them too? Because here's your taste pleasure right on your tongue, here's your ear, okay, and here's your sight pleasure. What about somebody who loves to watch animals writhing in pain and all the blood spewing out everywhere, Chris? What about those? Is that okay too? Because you're just making this light joke about something that's so serious. Your taste buds are not a reason to murder an animal when there are stores all around, or to pay for it. Do you not see that, Chris? Then you later on went on to say that you were lactose intolerant, instead of just saying, yeah, I think that teacher was right, and yeah, I am lactose intolerant, but she's right. We should all be drinking soy milk, oat milk, and not be stealing milk from cows. That's what you could have said. So why didn't you choose that route? That's the mystery. That's called cognitive dissonance. That is you trying to find excuses. And that's what you did basically the whole time in this video. This bug attacking me. Is that, excuse me, you went and pointed out that the marker that I was using wasn't vegan. Like of the 1,000 things that I do that are vegan, I'm using a non-vegan marker. And that's the thing that you choose to look at? It's interesting, isn't it? I guess you think that no art should exist. No, not at all. No paintings. We should just not have any art. Or, you know what you could do, Chris, is you could help me to contact these companies and insist that they have more vegan products. You could help me contact all of the companies that we know are non-vegan. Help me out. You know? I will work with you. I will do skits with you. I will sing and dance with you. I'll do whatever you want to help veganize this world. You made a joke about the ingredients of candy when I talked about gelatin and how it comes from the ligaments and the tendons of pigs, 6-month-old pigs that are murdered, and other animals too. And you said, well, kids don't care. To them, they just want the candy. They don't care. But that's not true, actually, Chris. Of course they want candy. But when you have an alternative and you tell a kid, hey, would you like this candy? It tastes the same. You know, you got Sour Patch Kids, which are vegan, or some other kind of candy that's not vegan, and you say to them, do you want to have the candy that hurt these animals? We're going to watch how they hurt these animals. You show the kids the video of how these animals were murdered and how their body parts were turned into that gummy part of that candy, or you show them the vegan version. You think the kids are so evil that they will choose the other one, the non-vegan one? I don't think so, Chris. Maybe you're right. I don't know. You say, I told you don't steal honey from bees, to use maple syrup instead, and you said, they make it every day. It's literally their only purpose in life. They can spare some. Okay, so you make money every day, and I guess you're okay then with anybody just, you know, taking some of the stuff that you have extra, right? You just, like, people want to come up to your house, want to open the door, and they see your shoes there, like, hey, I'm going to take some of these shoes she's got extra. I'm going to go into her cutlery drawer and take a bunch of knives and forks, and oh, look, here's a safe with some money. Ah, Chris, she has tons of money. Let's just take some. Let's just spread it out and share among all of us all of her money. You're fine with that, right? That's basically what you're saying. These bees that work all their lives to make the honey for themselves, it's not for us, you're okay with stealing it from them. Somebody who is an absolute giant to them. What do you think is the difference in size between a bee and you? Like, are you like 1,000,000 times bigger than a bee? I don't know, 100,000? How would you like it if somebody who was 100,000 times bigger than you came up to you and just came and started ripping all of your one, let's say it's your one little bowl of whatever it is that you made, or, you know, something that you created. How would you feel if they just reached down and went, boop, yeah, I'm going to take that from you because I'm bigger than you, so I can just take whatever I want? I don't think it's right, Chris. I think you should retract that statement, and you should say that from now on you're going to buy things without honey and without any animal body parts, and you will help me to end this animal holocaust. We'll get to this in a second. You say, I do love the vegan version of ice cream like Halo Top, and I think that's great. I really think that was great in your video, and I think that you should continue to promote any vegan items. I said that they rape bulls and cows in the industry, and you laughed. You thought it was funny that they were being molested. Go and watch the video of yourself. Now, sometimes people laugh, and it's a nervous laugh, right? Because they're like, ooh, I don't know what to say here. She's kind of right. But you're an actor. You're an amazing actor. Why did you not turn on your charm then, and then at least suppress this bizarre reaction that you had to laugh? I don't know. I don't understand. Or was it just a nervous laughter? I don't know. I'm trying to figure you out, Chris. Then I talked about the cows, and you said, I wouldn't like it if someone came up to me and tried to steal my milk. That kind of comment makes me have some hope. Yeah, you wouldn't like it. I heard that you and your boyfriend were talking about getting married one day, and I know that you talked about both of you want to have kids. So try to imagine yourself in the future as a mother with a baby, a brand new baby who is vegan, by the way. All babies are born vegan. Nobody shoves dead animals into their mouths and eggs and stolen milk from another species until they're older. So don't do that, by the way. Raise your children to be vegan. You guys should be vegan also. But imagine that you have a baby, Chris, and your baby is born and in your arms, and then somebody decides, well, they're going to rip this baby away from you, and they're going to take you and strap you down and take your milk, kill your baby, and then repeat this cycle. And if you have a baby girl, she'll be spared. She won't be murdered because she'll be able to give milk later, and she'll go back into this cycle. Have you seen The Handmaid's Tale? Have you seen that series? I think it's on Netflix or one of those types. That's what it reminds me of. You know, we as females, we need to stick up for females. We need to say, our bodies, excuse me, our bodies are not here for you. They belong to us. I want to talk a little bit about, there's a woman named Vegan Booty that I'd like you to look at. Look her up. She's a few years older than you, and she's a great animal rights activist out in Australia. And she's doing this whole campaign called Free the Nipple. She thinks that men are allowed to be topless, and so women should be allowed to be topless too. And if men don't like it, well, tough luck for them. On a hot day like this, it's right now, it's about 30 outside. Yeah, why can't I just take off my top and just stand here and do this? Well, I would do it. I have no problem. I don't give a shit, except that I won't be monetized, or I might even get a strike against me on this channel. And a lot of my videos are actually not monetized because I show the truth of what happens in the meat, dairy, and egg industry. How weird is that, Chris? That our society promotes this violence over and over again. It's not right. So what else? You said, Sour Patch Kids candies are my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. That makes me feel a little bit better about eating them. So good. You know what? There's somebody, Chris, there's a guy whose name is Oompaville. He has another channel on YouTube here, and he has a candy company. So here's an idea for you. Why don't you make a candy and make it vegan, and or ask the company, the Sour Patch Kids company, to allow you to be their sponsor or something. You know, use your power for good going forward. Never promote any more ingredients or products that hurt animals. Only vegan ones, Chris. Tell your audience from now on, if they want to send you snacks from other countries, they should only be vegan, and you will sample those happily. Yeah. Okay, then you're talking about me, and you're saying about me. You say, on the one side, she, me, abuses and belittles me, and then she doesn't say sorry, but she gives me a check mark, and then I feel good. I feel like this is a lot of repressed trauma that I got as a child. She reminds me a lot of my mom. So I'm putting myself in your mom's position right now, Chris. She has this daughter who's becoming more and more famous, and people are going to start to know who your mom is. They're going to recognize her in the streets as well. And they're going to think of her as the one who what, messed up your whole head? Like, messed up your childhood? Like, you're so hard done by, Chris. Your life is so terrible. Look how you turned out. Don't talk about your mom that way. You'll see when you're a mom. It's not easy being a mom. You know, you try a million ways. You read all the books, and your kids are individuals. They're all unique people. The society has a lot to do with it. Don't blame your mom. I mean, unless she honestly was abusive, and I doubt that. Come on. And also, I'd like to talk to you about that as well. Again, going with this confirmation bias thing. I don't know if I look like your mom, or if I act like your mom, or what the heck it is, but I'm not your mom, Chris. I am a teacher telling you the truth. I am teaching you the facts about how animals are treated. Okay, you got to learn to separate the message from the messenger. Okay, if you don't like it, then just don't look at me in the future. Maybe put one of those effects on my voice. You know, if you lower it, I sound kind of like a gay man, at least an effeminate man, whatever. And yeah, listen to that person if that's what you want. On the one side, okay, so I said that. The best part of the video is how much she can't stand me. That's what you said. That I can't stand you. Well, that's not true, Chris. I don't know where you got that from. I can see myself in the future absolutely hating you. I could picture it if you continue to make light of how animals suffer. But right now, I know that you're just being exposed to this for like, well, not for the first time, because I know you had a couple of clicks. I don't know if you know, but I did do a video about you on TikTok. Did you ever see it? I don't know if you did. Anyway, I did do one because you had one of your characters eating dino nuggets, and I said, don't do that. Don't say those words. That's a brand name. Don't promote a brand name that comes from so much suffering. Again, nuggets come from crushing up chickens. And chickens in the industry only live to about 7 weeks of age. And they murder them. And they have a lifetime of hell. They suffer terribly. This is probably too small for you guys to see. But you see the bag there? They suffocate them all. And they treat them terribly. They put them in these tight, confined spaces. That's their whole lives, Chris. Surely you don't want to promote that. Okay, so yeah, I don't have anything against you right now, Chris. The only thing I have is, I must admit, you got a couple of X's here in my head and here in my heart because the way you reacted to my video. Because I was really hoping that you would say, you know what, she's got some good points and I'm going to try to be vegan from now on. And that's not what you did. And your very first response to me was to say that I remind you of your mom and that I hate you. I don't hate you. And I never said that I did. I never even showed it. All I showed you in that video is, hey, Chris, you can do better than this. Then let's go on. It says here, I said you would be able to kill a cow on your own. And you said, no, I said to you, would you be able to kill a cow on your own? And you said, yeah, I don't know, maybe. I used to work on a cow farm. I milked cows. Yeah, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Really? You'd be okay with just killing a cow? Honestly? You were sexually assaulted. You know what it feels like to be violated, and you would be okay with killing a cow? A cow is a female. Cows are mothers. Cows are sexually assaulted. So for this cow to exist, who have done one single crime in this world, just to exist, you would say something like, yeah, I'm okay, maybe I could maybe kill a cow. Like, even as a so-called joke, Chris, that's not funny. Pretty disappointing. But then you said you milked cows. So milking a cow, if you don't know anything about what goes on with the whole industry, and you just see other people milking cows, you're like, okay, whatever. Some people just do stuff because they see other people doing it. But now you know. Now you know that milking a cow is not okay because you're stealing the milk from her baby. So now it becomes an act of stealing, and now it becomes an act of sexual assault. If you wouldn't want somebody to go up to you and take your nipples and start to squeeze them and take the milk and steal it, milk that belongs to your child, how on earth can you laugh and think it's funny to talk about doing that to an innocent mom? Cows are so gentle, Chris. And you know they're just basically big puppies. Like your dog Kevin, okay? Picture Kevin's spirit inside the body of a cow. That's what a cow is. Cows are they're just chill. They just want to live and have fun and be loved. All right. So I said, cows and pigs are so badly treated. Have you ever wondered why you don't see many of them? It's because of cognitive dissonance. And you said, my friend is a chicken farmer. Chickens are running around free. I know there's lots of and then, no, hold on. So you said they're running around free. And then because you're a bright young lady, you said, well, I know there's a lot of factory farms. You said warehouses, but I think what you mean is factory farms. So then you said, I don't like the idea of those. So you don't like the idea that there's a Holocaust going on. I said, I'm not promoting that, you said. But you know, you slipped it in a millisecond. Whereas your whole entire video could have been, I don't want to promote violence. That's what it could have been. And then you said, I'm going to stare at myself in the mirror for 5 hours after that. So, my take on that, Chris, is that a little bit of that is true and a lot of it isn't. But I'm really hoping that part of that is true, that you actually did take to heart some of what I told you. And you thought to yourself, you know what, maybe I had an eating disorder in the past, and that has nothing to do with the animals. I can eat perfectly healthy. I just go to the store and I choose any of the other 10,000 products in there, and I don't choose to put someone into my shopping cart. I put something. Don't put anything that's stolen from animals in your shopping cart. So I hope that you do think about that, and I really hope that you join me here in my fight. Now you said, don't compare chickens to the Holocaust. But that's not what I ever did, Chris. So why would you twist my words like that? See, that's another thing you did in your video. You left out a bunch of stuff that I actually said, and you made me look like somebody who's, a hypocrite for using a marker that's not vegan, and you made it basically seem that I was just, a waste of time to listen to. That's not really morally right. It's kind of wrong, like really wrong. Do you not see that, Chris? So if you say that you're going to go and stare at yourself, if you say you're going to compare chickens to the Holocaust, or you say that I compare chickens to the Holocaust, it's not what I did. I compared the Holocaust to what happens to the animals now to what happened in World War II. In World War II, they escorted 6 million people who did nothing wrong into gas chambers and murdered them. Right now, we shove billions, not 6 million, but billions every year, Chris, to their death. Whether it is in gas chambers for pigs, whether they have their throats slit, whether they are put into scalding water, whether there are fish removed from water and they die a slow death, flailing, trying desperately to survive. That's what we do. The Holocaust never ended for the animals, and it's interesting how you made point of chopping that out of your video. Why would you deliberately try to twist my message like that? Okay, then we went on and you said, we were talking about, you talked about crayons a bit. You said that crayons weren't vegan, and yeah, a lot of different types of crayons are not necessarily vegan, and we're hoping to have more and more vegan products going forward, and that I think that's good. But again, you didn't just say, hey, maybe I could help. Maybe I'm going to Google some vegan products and I'll help that vegan teacher to sell them or to whatever, to encourage people to buy them. So you go ahead and you go like this and you say, I don't think her shirt is cotton. Like you had no idea what I was wearing. You didn't come and look at the tag in the back. Again, you're trying to discredit somebody who's giving you a message about protecting animals who never did a single thing wrong. So why would you do that? It's bizarre, because if I was a person defending black people right now, would you do that too? Let's see, let's go and pick her arguments apart. Or would you just say, oh my God, good. Yeah, let's not hurt the black people. Or if I was defending the LGBTQ community, would you be like, oh, what is she doing now? Oh, maybe I don't see all the colors of the rainbow on her shirt. She must be prejudiced. Like, no. You would say, okay, good, great. Let's help this person. She's trying to defend the innocent. But you know why it's hard? Because you have to change all of your habits 3 times a day, and you're going to have to convince your boyfriend. I know he likes to eat lobster, so what are you going to do, Chris? The two of you must become vegan together if you want to make this work. How do you do that? Well, the same way that I did it with my husband. 5 years ago, when I decided I needed to be vegan, I couldn't stand to live with myself as a hypocrite anymore. I told him, look, this is what I'm doing. Here are the documentaries to watch. I hope you watch them and you become vegan with me. And he, an Italian man who's used to eating cheese and meat his whole life, he went and watched the documentaries. He came out with a little tear in his eye and said, I had no idea what happened, that this was happening to the animals. He watched Dominion Movement, Earthlings, Cowspiracy. Those are, I think, the first 3 that he watched. So memorize those. Go and watch those, Chris. Watch them together with your boyfriend, whose name is, I think it's Aaron. So, Aaron, if you're listening to this, I want you to watch those videos with your sweetheart. Okay, and I want you to come out of the other side, and I want you to be vegan. And we'll talk about veganizing your dog, Kevin, a little bit later. But just so you know, my dog has been vegan now for 4 years. She eats vegan dog food, and she's fine. And many dogs are fine being vegan. Just as long as they have taurine in their food and they get enough protein, we can get it from plants. Plants have protein. How else do you think that elephants get so big eating plants? Plants have protein. Bison, giraffes, how do you think they get so big? They eat plants. There's plenty of Olympic athletes who eat plants only, who are vegan. Okay, then you went on to say, at some point you said, you're not my dad. You're not my dad. So again, this weird projecting, like, you know, you say, you're not my mom, and then you say, you're not my dad. Like, I'm just a messenger. Like, is that how you treat everybody who tries to tell you something that you can do that's better for the world? Just think about it. Then I talked about how sad it was that the turkeys were being murdered, and you made a comment that you thought, I guess, was funny, which I thought was pretty hurtful. You said, we deep fry our turkeys at Christmas. So why would you say that? It's weird. If you know that I am fighting to defend the innocent, that would be like if I'm standing up for black rights or the LGBTQ rights, you would say, yeah, we fry them for dinner. We deep fry them. We think that's funny. Or maybe you don't like that example, so let me use this other one, okay? Yeah, we fry all our dogs over here too. We fry them up for dinner. Yeah, we got one over there named Kevin. We fry him up. We think it's hilarious. We do this at Christmas dinner. Put Kevin on the table. Dig in. Have a glass of wine and talk about how great we are and how great life is. The dead corpse of someone who didn't deserve to die there. Don't make jokes about suffering. Don't make jokes about animals suffering. They never did anything wrong to you. Nothing. Be vegan from now on, Chris. Don't be vegan phobic. Don't be cruel to animal rights activists. Be vegan fantastic instead. That's the word I invented, which means that you are an animal rights helper. You are helping us. Okay? You're always in this life on the side of the oppressor or the oppressed. You're always on the side of helping to make the world a better place or making it worse. Do you want to be part of the solution or part of the problem? Right now, unfortunately, you're part of the problem. I'm still hoping that you can turn it around. But I'm here for the long haul, Chris. I'm going to be watching you. I will. Because you are so young and you influence so many people, I have a moral responsibility to do so. To speak out against you if you do things that help promote violence. This is terrible. It's not okay. So I really hope that we can work together in the future. So then you laughed when I talked about how you are influencing people. You laughed and you said, am I influencing you guys to murder animals? Yes, you are. Yes, you are influencing people to take money out of their pockets to pay for places like McDonald's to kill these animals. These animals here. This is what ends up on your trays when you go to McDonald's. That's what you're doing, Chris. If you're not helping me to fight against this, then you're essentially promoting this to your millions of fans, and it's not funny. And maybe you're just young and it's the first time you're thinking about this, but I urge you to take this message very seriously. Don't hurt the animals. When you're having a breakfast sausage, make sure it's vegan. Ask for the vegan option, and if they don't have it, then you insist, or you go somewhere else. You insist that they get it. Beyond Meat is one of the vegan options that you can have. Don't hurt animals. If you wouldn't want somebody to eat your dog, then don't eat somebody else's cow. A cow belongs into somebody else's family. Let's see what else you said. I said, do you believe in stealing, Chris? And she said, if it's justified. And then you laughed and you said no. But you know, every time you crack a joke like that, there's a little bit of truth to it, isn't there? What kind of things have you stolen in your life, Chris? What is justified? So you think it's justified to steal the honey from bees, right? That's what you said. What about all of the homeless people or the people who have less money than you in the future? Because now you're going to be filthy rich. Everyone else might think it's justified to come over and open your door and take all of the items that you have. Would that be justified, Chris? Is it ever justifiable to steal? Maybe. But we have to be careful. I don't know the answer to that. I haven't really given it enough thought. I think that if somebody else has already stolen something, then to steal it back is a justifiable thing to do. Don't steal from animals. They never did anything wrong to you. What else did you say? Yeah, at one point in your video, you did this weird thing. You edited it, or I don't know who did, and you flashed across this screen a bunch of black guys, about 7 black guys, who were laughing at me. Like, what was that? Like, what did that have to do with anything? Like, who were those people? And why did you choose people with dark skin to laugh at me? Was that just a weird coincidence, or what was that? It's very strange. I didn't like it. Don't use images of other people and pretend that they are laughing at me when they are innocent. They might even be vegan. Now you said at 13:54 in your video, you said, I can feel the disappointment through the computer, similar to my mother's, that she had for me as well. I gotta call my therapist. Well, first of all, again, I'm not your mother. I'm not your mother. And that's twice now in this video that you made it sound like you have a bad mom. Moms are, for the most part, trying their best. They really are, with the tools that they have. Many of them aren't vegan. Many of them give their children dead animals. They put them on a spoon. They try to give them babies food. It's all ground up, body parts. They give them yogurt and things like that, and they shouldn't, but most of them don't know. But you know now, Chris, so you have no excuse. There's no excuse for animal abuse, and now you know. So that was a weird thing that you did. And then you said, I feel the disappointment coming through the computer. Like, I was disappointed because you were promoting violence. Yeah, and isn't that justified? Didn't mean I hate you. Not yet. All right, so then, what else? You said you're going to call your therapist. Well, why do you need a therapist, Chris? You don't need a therapist. You are somebody who is privileged at the top level of privilege. Every morning you wake up, you have a roof over your head, you have walls, you have a toilet, you have a shower, you have a toothbrush, you have a pillow and a bed, you have somebody who loves you, you even have enough money to be able to have a dog in your home that you can feed. You have a sister who loves you. Presumably the rest of your family is pretty okay too, even though you make fun of your mom and dad as if they are somehow still there and you're still like 13 years old. Come on, you're 25 now. It's time to grow up and stop blaming things on them. You don't need a therapist, Chris. What you need is just to be kind and to be vegan. Once you start defending animals, you'll stop thinking about yourself and focusing on yourself and how your life is so terrible when we know your life is right at the top 1% now. extreme privilege that you have. Yeah. You see, you're born with talent. It is true that you worked on your talent. That's great, and I know you worked a lot on it. But you're also born with a certain amount of things in your body. Like, you have a certain amount of brain cells in your brain, and your heart is a certain size. And for somebody like you to be able to tap into all these people that you have as characters when you are acting, it means that you're pretty smart. Now, not everybody's born smart. So yeah, you worked hard, but there's a lot of people who could never ever get to where you are, no matter how hard they work, because they're not born with the same things that you are gifted. Something to think about. Then at one point I said, don't eat cheese because it is contributing to the death of animals, and you said cheese is not body parts. I never said that cheese is body parts, but I said that cheese is like white meat because it comes from this cycle of violence, and every time you buy cheese, you are paying somebody to murder a baby boy cow and steal his milk and make cheese out of it. So cheese is part of a cycle of violence and murder. Being vegetarian is not good enough. Vegetarians are not helpful at all because they end up eating twice as much cheese and twice as much milk. So don't be vegetarian. Then you said, I don't think there's anything on this planet that's actually 100% vegan. You were making fun of the suffering of the monkeys by talking about rabbits bringing us broccoli or something like that, which rabbits don't bring us broccoli, but the truth is that some people do force these monkeys from a young age to have to climb trees and bring down coconuts. They keep them in tight chains around their neck, and then they keep them on tight chains afterwards, and basically they're slaves. They are slaves for us, and that's not right. If we can't find a way with all of our resources to get the coconuts out of the trees on our own, then maybe we shouldn't be eating the coconuts. It's actually a possibility, isn't it? Can we survive without coconuts? Yeah. Do we like coconuts? You don't like them. I happen to love the taste of coconut. But the point of the matter is that we should not be using animals as our slaves. Animals are here for their own reasons on the planet. They're not for us. They're here with us. Okay, and then you said, so you said things are not, nothing is 100% vegan. Well, some things are 100% vegan, yes. If you plant a carrot in the ground on your own and you pick it out of, or you pick out something, I don't know, a mushroom in the forest that didn't involve any animal suffering. There's all kinds of things that are vegan. But yes, you have a good point that there are a lot of non-vegan things around. And our purpose here on Earth is to make the world a better place. So when we leave this planet, we will have done something good for the world. Fly is on me. So, you asked, how do you research for that? Well, we'll talk about that in another movie, but I think you're pretty smart. You're pretty good at researching. You can Google vegan coconut and just find your way around through that. Okay. At 16 minutes in your video, when I asked you, I said, do you care about animals? You said, I do care about animals. And that's good. But which animals? Only the one that lives in your house? Only Kevin? What about if down the street you find out that there's a pig that's living there? Does that animal's life mean anything to you? Or is it just because you connected with your own dog, Kevin? Is that why? Is that a good enough reason? Should we be prejudiced? Should we only like the black people that we know and hate the rest of them? No. Should we only like certain members of the LGBTQ but not those ones over there? No. Should we only love our dog and just, who cares about the rest? Let them eat all the dogs they want in China and all the cats, no problem. Let them eat all of the pigs, chickens, cows, lambs, turkeys they want next door, my other neighbor, who cares? We want to end the animal holocaust. All right, what else did you say? I refuse to read the ingredients on anything ever again because you told me to. How silly is that? That's like saying the government told me I have to wear a seatbelt, but because they told me to, I'm not going to do it. Fuck them. My dentist told me to brush my teeth, but fuck him. I'm not going to brush my teeth because he told me to. How old are you? Check the ingredients. because it's the right thing to do. You said, you made a point of saying once again later on at 16 minutes and 44 seconds, you said, I like chicken nuggets. Don't say that. Say, I like vegan nuggets. Make one of your characters in your next video, whatever you're doing, create a vegan character. If you want, you can even use me as an example. You can make fun of that vegan teacher and do an exaggerated version of me, but don't fuck it up. And don't make me seem like I'm crazy. Unless you're doing it for the good of the animals. Actually, I don't care what you do with my image, as long as you're helping the animals. If you want me to be one of the characters in your show, I will even show up myself. I'll get on a plane and I'll act out the part of that vegan teacher. Or you can pretend to be me. Whatever. But the point is that you have to have a character that is in your repertoire who is non-vegan but becoming vegan. Or you have to have a vegan character. Somehow this is how I see you going forward, Chris. I have a suggestion for you though. I don't know if you've done yet a French-Canadian accent. Maybe I missed it. But here in Quebec, there are French people who try to speak English, and they have a very distinctive accent. It's pretty funny, actually. I can help to teach you if you want. But yeah, that's one thing that you could do, is maybe mix in a vegan character with a French accent. Oh, I don't know. You'll figure it out. You're the smart one. You'll figure something out. The part about the accent, the French-Canadian accent, is not as important as is for you to make sure that your characters are vegan. And I mean a nice vegan, one of them who really cares about the animals. A good character would be to create something a little bit like I tried to do with That Vegan Nurse. I had this character on TikTok. I had 100,000 followers there, and she was someone who was super compassionate. Now, I'm not a great actor like you, but I sort of tried to play with this idea of somebody who was really over the top compassionate and just like would cry every time that she's heard about animal suffering, which is, it is a little bit about the way I am. It is like that because I know what they've been through, because I've watched the important documentaries like don'twatch.org. Don't forget to watch it. It's only 6 minutes long. Don'twatch.org. And the other ones, Dominion Movement, Earthlings, Cowspiracy, and now they have Seaspiracy. Make sure you watch those, okay, Chris? Aaron? Make sure you watch them with her. If she tries to get away, massage her back or her feet or something, make her pay attention, because this is important. She's going to be saving lives going forward. And not just for the animals, by the way, because being vegan helps to lower your cholesterol level, because there's no cholesterol in plants. It's only in animal products. It's so much healthier. All right. What else did you say? I said Nutella's not vegan. This is so disappointing. And you said, just like my mother always says. So your mother says she's disappointed in you. So then again, a third time in your video, you're basically putting your mother down. Like your mother has never praised you? Come on, Chris. Don't talk badly about your mom that way. Again, you're not like 13, 14 years old now. Time to give your mom a hug and forgive her, whatever happened. Like, she's doing her best. Yeah, Nutella isn't vegan, but there's vegan versions of it. Just don't make it with cow's milk. Make it with soy milk or oat milk. You're not gonna die if you're vegan, but the animals will die if you're not. And then you made fun, this is just like my report card at school. Again, a 25-year-old going back to the age when you were 13, 14, 15, like, the joke's over. And then eat whatever you want is what you said at the end. This is how you started your video, and this is how you ended your video. Eat whatever you want. Eat what makes you feel good. That's what you said. That's like telling a rapist, do whatever you want. Whatever makes you feel good. It doesn't matter who the victim is. Does that make any fucking sense to you? Think about what you're telling people. Think about the message you're giving. Do whatever the fuck you want in this world. As long as you're making money, as long as your makeup is perfect, as long as your life is perfect, who cares about the victims? I'm not okay with it. You need to change. You need to take back those comments. You need to say, I thought about what that vegan teacher said, and she's right. I don't stand by those words. Don't do whatever you want. Don't hurt anybody. Don't victimize humans. Don't sexually assault females. no matter what kind of a body they come in, whether they are non-human or human animals. We're all animals. Leave animals the fuck alone and leave women alone. Don't pay people to hurt cows, to rape them, to tie them up, to take away their babies. In the industry, pigs are kept in such tight, confined spaces, Chris, they can't even turn around. I'm not fucking exaggerating. Imagine putting your dog in a place that he could not even turn around. And if Kevin was a boy, she, with genders and everything, who knows what's going on nowadays, but let's say you had a dog who was female and was kept in a tight, confined space and couldn't even turn around. And then when the puppies were born, your dog couldn't even look at her puppies' faces. Tight, because of money. That's all they care about. This is the pork industry. This is the bacon that goes on the things at McDonald's, which I'm protesting all the time. Eating animals is wrong. Call me Chris. Hurting animals is wrong. Call me Chris. Share this song and be vegan from now on. You can do it. Subscribe to this channel, Chris, and all of your visitors. Follow me and help me to make this world a better place for all of the animals. Thanks for listening. Coming up on the screen are going to be a bunch of other videos. Click on them. Be curious. Have a look at my other videos. Don't forget to press the notification bell as well. Thank you for making this place heaven instead of hell. See you in the next video.